Hi, good morning, class. Welcome back to Miss Farah's online learning. It's so good to see all of y'all here, and thank y'all so much for all your hard work this week. It's been really great. I've actually seen a lot of people sending stuff in, so it really makes me happy. Really quickly this morning, I wanted to go over our sight words with y'all like we do every day, and then I'm going to talk about some upcoming events we have that I'm really excited about, and then we're going to do a quick lesson about authors, and then I'll just review what we're going to do for the day, and that'll be all. Okay, so very quickly, today is Thursday. So if today is Thursday, that means yesterday was Wednesday. Very good. And today is, or tomorrow is Friday. Very good. So it's May 14th, 2020. So May is the month. 14th is the day of the month. And 2020 is the year. All right. So our first sight word is just. J-U-S-T. Just. Y'all try to say it at home before I do. Number 2 is pick. P-I-C-K. Pick. Number 3 is because. B-E-C-A-U-S-E. Because. It's a very, very hard word, but it's a really important word. We use it a lot in sentences and when we talk. Number 4 is play. Play. P-L-A-Y. Play. Number 5 is came. C-A-M-E. Came. Number 6 is gave. Very good. G-A-V-E. Gave. Number 7, about. A-B-O-U-T. About. Number 8, one. Very good. O-N-E. One. Number 9, from. F-R-O-M. From. And finally, number 10 is good. Very good. G-O-O-D. Remember the 2 O's next to each other make an sound. Good. Very good. So those are our sight words this week. And today with your sight words, I would like for you to rainbow write them. So remember, you can rainbow write by writing each letter a different color, or you can rainbow write, like write them in the shape of a rainbow. That's a fun way to do it too. Either one, it's up to you. Just make sure you're kind of finding a fun way to practice writing your sight words today, because we do want to practice every day because we want to be ready for first grade. Okay, and phonics, today we are going to talk about blends some more. So remember, we have our regular blends, like our vowel blends sometimes that are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. But then we have something called consonant blends. So that's like when 2 consonants are put together, sometimes they make kind of a different sound. So you should have been looking at those this week. You can go back and watch the video again if you need some more help. But just try to think of a couple ones that have consonant blends that you can think of. If you want to find them in a book, that's one way to do it. Or if you just want to use your brain and think about that, that's perfectly fine too. I find it's easy sometimes to look through a book just because it's good to see the 2 letters next to each other. And then you can talk about what sound they make. I did want to go over today in writing. So this week and next week, we're practicing writing our own story. So we've already made our character. We've gone over our settings. So I sent home 2 papers with y'all, and you were supposed to make your character and make your setting. And then today, I want you to make your author's page. So an author is somebody that writes a book. So I have A Grouchy Ladybug by Eric Carle. So we love Eric Carle books in our classroom. They're one of our favorites. And on the back, we have our author's page. So this is Eric Carle. So if you were doing this at home, you could draw a picture of yourself, or if you wanted to print out a picture and paste it on there, that's perfectly fine too. I usually draw a picture because I don't have a very good printer, so sometimes it's hard to see when little details come out. So this says a little bit about Eric Carle. So this up here tells us about the book. And then this down here tells us about Eric Carle, the author. So whenever you're writing your author's page, you want to write enough to tell the person that's reading it about you, because people like to know what their authors are and who their authors are and why they should be reading their books. So this is Eric Carle is a virtuoso at creating children's picture books and is known especially for his enormously popular stories, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Do You Want to Be My Friend, The Secret Birthday Message, The Mixed Up Chameleon, and many others. His collage illustrations are characterized by masterful simplicity that reflects a deep understanding of young children. So this just tells us what he's known for, why we should be reading his books, what is so important about his books, and why everybody likes his books so much. So sometimes they'll tell you about the story. Other ones might tell you about the author. So they might say, you know, where they live or what they're doing at home, who they live with, what their favorite activities are. Anything like that is perfectly fine. Some books don't have pictures of the author in them, but I want us to work on our pictures because I know we love drawing in class, so that kind of helps. So today on your paper that you get, try to draw a picture and then write about maybe a little bit about you. So just tell your audience why they should be reading your book. So a little bit, maybe what you like, what you don't like, or maybe where you live, maybe not like your address or anything, but that you live in Houston with your mom and your dad, that you go to Cornelius Elementary School. That's perfectly fine. We don't want to share these everywhere because we don't want people knowing where we live, but it's fun to kind of tell us what we like about where we are. So you could say, I like living in Houston, or you could talk about what your favorite things to do are. Maybe you like playing outside, or maybe you like playing with your dog or your cat. That's fine too. Try to get a little detail about who you are. I'm excited to read these and see everything about y'all. It'll be really cool. So work on that today for your writing. And it's really important because it's going to help us when we write the rest of our book. All we'll have to do is put everything together and we won't have to spend a long time going over every little bitty thing. So that is what we're going to be doing in writing today. In our reading, remember this week we're talking about fiction and nonfiction some more. So I know we've kind of gone over this a lot, but it is important and it's going to help us when we're looking at books. So whenever you are thinking about fiction and nonfiction today, you have a piece of paper that Ms. Farah gave you online, and all you have to do is one half of the paper. So I don't want you to do both of them because that's just a lot of work to do in one day. But you can do one half of the paper, that's perfectly fine. And just kind of pick a side and go over it with your parents or whoever is with you at home. And it has a question on fiction. It says, what makes a text fictional? Give an example. So what is fiction? And then the other side says, what makes a text non-fictional? So give an example. So remember, fiction means it's not real, and non-fiction means it's real. It's a really easy way to remember the difference between the two. I know it's a little bit confusing, but it all kind of makes sense as we grow older, and that'll help whenever we go to first grade, because in first grade we talk a lot about fiction and nonfiction. So we want to make sure we're prepared for first grade because we only have 2 weeks left of school. Oh my goodness, it's flying by this year. So go ahead and do that today. Finally, in math, I posted a picture of some popsicles, and I know we love popsicles. And you can look at the picture and decide how much you think each popsicle costs. So if you can't cut out and glue, you can maybe circle it and draw a line to where it goes. That's fine too. Just whatever you want to do at home that'll help you remember how much everything costs. Remember, we're talking about quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies this week. So we're talking about money. And we're going to start talking about how to add them up together next week, all that kind of stuff. So today, go ahead and look at that. And finally, in social studies, we're looking at animal habitats. So I posted another picture that you can do on Class Dojo where you get to pick an animal and decide what habitat you think it should live in, and why you think it should live in that habitat. So what would make it live in that habitat? Does it have a lot of fur so it can live in the cold? Does it have not a lot of fur so it can live in the heat? Is that just where it lives? So tell me a little bit about the animal and why you think it should live, why it lives in that habitat. Finally, a couple little announcements that we need to go over. Friday, so that's tomorrow, is our Zoom meeting at 1 o'clock. So Miss Farah will get on here and we can all say hi to each other. I'll read y'all a couple stories. We have a great time every week, and it's been really nice to see all of our friends and tell them about our days and how we're doing when we're at home. Kind of gets a little bit of a switch up from who you usually get to see at home. Also, really exciting, next Wednesday, so we'll have the weekend and then a couple days, and next Wednesday we are going to do our awards. So we're going to get online, and it's going to be in the morning at 10 o'clock. So parents, try to remember, we're going to get on Zoom, and Miss Farah is going to give everybody an award for how they did this year. So I'll have all these awards ready, and then the following week, parents will be able to come up to the school and get the rest of your stuff, and I'll be able to give you the awards in person, little certificates and everything. I'm really excited about it, and I hope that everybody gets online for the awards. It'll be really good, and you'll get to see everybody in the classroom. And I think we might have a special appearance by Miss Putman, and she might get on and say hi as well. All right, guys. Well, that is everything that we have today. I hope y'all are still doing amazing at home and everybody's having fun still. I know we've been there a long time, but know that I miss you every day. Keep sending me photos because it really makes my day better when I see how y'all are doing at home. And then don't forget to get on Imagine Learning twice a day. So 2 times a day, get on Imagine Learning. Also, if you want to read online, we have Epic that we use to read online. I know Mayan has been a little glitchy, so we switched to Epic. If y'all would like to read stories on there, we this week reached 25 books that we've read as a class. And that is wonderful. It makes me so happy. So keep up the hard work. I love seeing it at home. And don't forget that we have our Zoom meeting tomorrow, and then next week are our awards. All right, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you later. Bye.